Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we have a John Doe found December 31st, 1978 in Dawson County, Georgia. He was just 24 to 30 years old. Let's see. Doesn't have an estimated year of death or an estimated PMI, but they do estimate his height to be around 6 foot tall. No estimated weight. Skeletal remains found in a rural area. Not recognizable, partial skeleton parts only. And we're going to look at some missing persons. We have, and I don't see anybody missing in Dawson County, Georgia. So I don't know if there was somebody that was missing that wasn't reported missing, or maybe they got reported as a runaway instead of getting reported missing, or if something happened between them getting reported missing and the investigators putting the missing persons on NamUs or something like that. And the red right here is Dawson County, Georgia, so you can see where it's at. Chattanooga's here. Dawson County is here. Marietta, Atlanta is here. So I would imagine maybe it was somebody that went hunting or hiking, or I don't know. If you have a loved one that might have, or a friend or somebody that you knew that went missing, please contact authorities and let them know. And see if you can have it put on the Doe Network or the Charlie Project if it's not on NamUs. I think NamUs gets put on there by investigators. So there's no estimated year of death or PMI. So because I couldn't find anybody in Georgia that fits it, I'm just looking to see other people that are missing. We have Jeffery David Daymude. He went missing October 19th, 1978 from West Melbourne, Florida. He was 23 years old. He was about 6 foot tall to 6 foot 2 and weighed about 150 to 170 pounds. He was last seen leaving his residence. At the time, he was accompanied by his dog and drove to Menton Park, Florida. 3 days later, his dog was located on the northwest section of Palm Bay, Florida. And they don't know what happened to him. And he had brown hair and brown eyes. So if you have any information about what might have happened to him, please contact authorities. We have Ronald. This is white Caucasian, and he's African American. So I'm going to delete him out of here. We have Jimmy Wayne Edwards. Date of last contact, August 1978, Lexington, North Carolina. He could have been anywhere from 5'6" to 6 foot tall. I guess they don't know how tall he was. 22 years of age. He was last seen August 16, 1978. He had been involved in a dispute previously with a motorcycle gang, according to family members. Brown hair, and they don't know what color his eyes were. So if you have any information about what might have happened to him, please contact authorities and let them know. I guess I should see if you can't see this picture, if it's small. Okay. And then we have Randy Stewart Doran from New Orleans, Louisiana, 22 years old, 5'11", 160 pounds. Last heard from in early April. He was known to hitchhike across the country. He was originally from California, but known to travel to Nevada and Florida. He was believed to have been working on a boat dock in New Orleans just prior to his disappearance. He was an avid guitar player. He had brown collar-length hair, blue eyes. Records list eye color as hazel. Family described eye color as blue. Okay. And of course my computer freezes up sometimes. I don't know. It's a new computer. But since I started working on Georgia, I have a lot of problems getting it to work. See, that picture's just little, and I think all these pictures might be just little. So, if you have any information about what happened to him, please contact authorities. This is James Mann Morris from Henderson, Kentucky. Went missing March 4th, 1977. 32 years old, 5'11". Black hair, hazel eyes. Eyelids drooped, had to tilt head back in order to see. Old rust-colored corduroy waist-length jacket, blue jeans, gold wire-rimmed glasses, the type that adjusts with light. Dark brown leather sandals with brass studs, gold tiger headstone ring, old type Mickey Mouse watch. Missing vehicle was found abandoned in Evansville, Indiana, approximately 10 miles from where he was last seen. So you would think that if something happened to him, he would be found around that area between where he went missing and his vehicle was found. Then we have Charles Wallace Muller. Wow, there's a lot of photos of him. And let's see what it says. March 14th, 1977, 26 years old, about 6 foot tall. He was last seen around midnight. He has not been seen or heard from by any living soul who knew him since that day. Brown hair, dark brown, almost black. His hair was longish and wavy. He usually had a mustache. They couldn't remember if he had grown a beard or anything at the time. Green eyes, dark full eyelashes. No glasses or contacts. They couldn't remember what he was wearing, but it was probably a blue jeans and t-shirt. The vehicle was recovered 2 weeks after he disappeared at a bridge maintenance parking area under the east bank of the Huey P. Long Bridge. So if you have any information about what might have happened to him, please contact authorities and let them know. Okay. Let's see. Ricky Del Olsen, 25 years old, 1975, Tallahassee, Florida, 5'11" to 6 foot tall, escaped from prison while serving 10 years for robbery with a firearm. Is Department of Correction, Offender Records, Tallahassee. Wow. Brown hair, blue eyes. He escaped in 1975. Ricky Del Olsen. Edward Leroy Nichols, Union, Kentucky. And there's a missing persons document. Wow. I think he's dead. Someone shot him. Eddie Nichols' mother still is watching and waiting, but not for Eddie. Nearly 4 years ago, Nichols and his friend David Stiles landed their guns into Stiles' car and headed for an out-of-season hunting trip. Nichols never returned. Nichols vanished in the thick woods near the Boone-Gallatin County line as if swallowed alive. His disappearance ranks as one of the Northern Kentucky's premier, most bizarre mysteries. Nichols is 26 years old. If he's alive, I think he's dead. And his mother, said his mother, Mrs. Lillian Nichols, as I always did. Miss Nichols, a widow, lives at 181 or 191 Lakeview Drive, Florence. She speaks quietly but firmly about her instinctive feelings toward her missing son. She doesn't think she'll ever see Eddie alive, but she has a feeling some news will come someday. Still waiting. She isn't alone in her vigil. And that part I can't hardly see, so I'm going to skip here. If Nichols is dead, they don't know how he died or whether he was killed. They have no suspicions about why or how Nichols disappeared. They have no idea where he could have gone. They simply don't know anything for sure. What really happened to Eddie Nichols? Was he shot by another hunter by mistake? Did he plan an elaborate grand scheme? Faking his own disappearance to start a new life? Was he the victim of foul play? Or was he eaten alive by fierce bears known to have been foraging through the same woods at the time he vanished? So, 22 years old, 6 foot tall, 160 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, blue jeans, army fatigue jacket, white socks. And then we have Wynant Lee Moore. I don't know if I pronounced his first name correctly or not. Wow. Portrait of him. Okay, that's a lot of images in here. A search with 4 bloodhounds Saturday produced no clues as to whereabouts of Lexington man missing since last weekend from the Natural Bridge State Park near Slade. Park rangers, maintenance man, and state police combed the area for a sign of Wynant Lee Moore, age 29, Lexington, son of Mrs. Charles Bomer of Lexington. Moore was left at the area by his fiancée, Miss Ruth Lyles, for a weekend of camping and fishing. She was unable to find him when she arrived last Sunday to pick him up. Park rangers said Saturday plans for a continued search were indefinite and that nothing more would be done about the hunt until Monday. There's another article if you want to pause it and try to read it and zoom in. Let's see. I wonder if he had the motorcycle with him. Wow, there's a lot of photos. Okay. Went missing from either Wolf or Powell, Kentucky while camping at Mill Creek Lake. The missing person's fiancé dropped him off at the lake. There were some people fishing that had seen and found his items, clothing, billfold, and such. Billfold? An extensive search was conducted, but there was no further evidence of the missing person found. Brown hair, dark brown hair, blue eyes, light complected with freckles, athletic build. Okay, and then we have George Patrick Willison. I don't know why they put that in there sideways. Age 22, 5'10" to 6 foot tall, 120 to 130 pounds. Subject traveled with 4 others from South Florida to New York by car in April of 1974. According to 3 of the travelers, they stopped to relieve themselves off the highway at a location in Georgia. There he was allegedly shot to death by one of the other males who were traveling with him. The witnesses did not immediately report this incident until after a missing persons investigation was initiated. The area where this occurred was searched extensively, but a body was never recovered. The subject responsible for shooting this missing person reportedly confessed to detectives he is currently serving a life sentence in Florida for a separate murder. He was never charged in this case. Brown hair, blue eyes. So this was 1974, and so then that makes you wonder if that didn't happen, if the one in Dawson County, Georgia, or another one might be him, because that makes sense, to go in a forested area like that. And would that be on the way to New York from Florida? I don't know. I don't know which way they would have taken or anything. And then we have Lewis James House. He went missing April 19th, 1972 from Georgia. He was 51 years old, about 5'11", 170 pounds. He left his home on the morning of Tuesday, April 18th, 1972 to meet with an acquaintance in Austell, Georgia. He was last seen at the Sea Drift Motel in Clearwater, Florida. On Wednesday, April 19, 1972, foul play was suspected after the bill of sale for his Cadillac and the deed for his property in Florida were determined to have been forged. Anyone with information on the disappearance of Lewis House is encouraged to contact Special Agent Deborah Loving of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Atlanta Regional Office, 770-388-5019. And he had brown hair and blue eyes. Partial dentures, previously underwent an appendectomy. Glasses. So if you have any information about who this unidentified man could be, this John Doe, or what might have happened to any of those missing persons, whether you're not sure if it's relevant, even if you feel like it's hearsay, you're not going to go testify in court, let the authorities know. You can email them, call them, write them a letter, whatever you want to do, but please let authorities know so that they have the information and let them decide what's relevant and what's not important. Don't forget to pray for their families or loved ones. Feel free to leave comments and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.